The air in the living room hung heavy, thick with the scent of lavender candles and the faint tang of spilled wine from last night's argument. My fingers tightened around the edge of my phone, the screen glowing with a single text. Meet me at the pier, 8 p.m. We need to talk. No name. Just a number I didn't recognize. My heart thudded, a dull hammer against my ribs, as I stared at the words. Clara's voice echoed from the kitchen, her laugh bright and sharp, slicing through the fog of my thoughts. 10 years of marriage, and I still couldn't tell if her laughter was genuine or a mask. I'd seen the signs for months, her phone angled away during dinner, the late nights at the gallery she managed, the way her eyes darted when I asked about her day. Small things, easy to dismiss. She was stressed, I told myself. The art world demanded long hours, schmoozing with pretentious collectors who'd pay thousands for a smear of paint. But the doubt had rooted itself, a weed curling through my chest, whispering questions I didn't want to answer. I slipped the phone into my pocket and stepped into the kitchen. Clara stood at the counter, slicing apples, her dark hair spilling over one shoulder. The late afternoon sun filtered through the blinds, casting slanted shadows across her face. She looked up, her hazel eyes catching mine, and smiled, a smile that used to melt me but now felt like a locked door. "Early day?" she asked, her voice light, but her fingers paused on the knife. "Yeah," I lied, my throat tight. "Client cancelled. Thought I'd come home and surprise you." Her smile flickered, just for a second, like a bulb about to burn out. "Sweet of you, Mark." She turned back to the apples, the knife moving faster now, the blade catching the light in quick, sharp flashes. I leaned against the doorway, watching her. The text burned in my pocket, a silent accusation. Who was it? A coworker? A friend? Someone else? My mind churned, replaying every late-night call she'd taken in the other room, every vague excuse about inventory issues. I wanted to confront her, to demand answers, but the words stuck, heavy and useless. What if I was wrong? What if I was just paranoid, tearing apart a marriage over nothing? Dinner was quiet, the clink of forks against plates deafening in the silence. Clara talked about a new exhibit, her voice animated, but her eyes never met mine for long. I nodded, murmured responses, my thoughts spiraling. The pier. 8 o'clock. I could go, see who it was, get answers. Or I could stay, pretend everything was fine, and let the doubt fester. By 7, the house felt suffocating. Clara was in the shower, the hum of water a distant drone. I grabbed my jacket, scribbled a note about grabbing beer, and slipped out. The pier was a 20-minute drive, the road winding through salt-scented air and the low hum of the city. My hands gripped the wheel, knuckles white, as I replayed the text. We need to talk. It could be anything, a work thing, a wrong number. But my gut twisted, certain it wasn't. The pier stretched into the darkening sea, its weathered boards creaking under my boots. The air was sharp with brine, the horizon swallowing the last streaks of sunset. I checked my phone. 7:58. My pulse raced, a drumbeat in my ears. A figure stood at the far end, silhouetted against the fading light. Not Clara. A man, tall, broad-shouldered, his coat flapping in the wind. My stomach dropped. He turned as I approached, his face half-lit by a flickering street lamp. Mid-40s, sharp jaw, eyes like steel. I didn't know him, but something about his stance, confident, almost defiant, set my nerves on edge. "You, Mark." His voice was low, rough, like gravel underfoot. I nodded, my mouth dry. "Who are you?" He didn't answer right away, just studied me, his gaze cutting through the dusk. "She didn't tell you about me, did she?" The words hit like a punch, stealing my breath. "Clara." My voice cracked, betraying me. He gave a short, bitter laugh. "Yeah, Clara." He pulled a cigarette from his pocket, lit it with a flick of a lighter. The flame illuminated his face for a moment, hard lines, a scar above one brow. "I'm Ethan. Been seeing her for 6 months." The world tilted. My knees buckled, but I caught myself on the railing, the wood rough under my palms. "You're lying," I said, but the words sounded hollow, even to me. "Wish I was." He exhaled smoke, the cloud curling into the night. "She said you two were done. just hadn't made it official. Said you'd grown apart, that you didn't get her anymore. Each word was a blade, slicing through the life I thought I knew. I saw Clara's smile, her laugh, the way she'd pull away when I tried to hold her lately. The signs were there, screaming, and I'd ignored them, clinging to denial like a lifeline. Why tell me? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Why now? Ethan's eyes softened, just for a moment, and I saw something like guilt flicker across his face. Because she's playing us both. Told me last week she's done with me, too. Said she's moving on, starting fresh. I thought you deserved to know. My mind reeled, grasping for something solid. Clara, leaving? Starting fresh? It didn't make sense. Or maybe it did, and I'd been too blind to see it. You've got proof. I demanded, anger flaring through the haze of hurt. He pulled out his phone, scrolled, and held it out. A photo, Clara, laughing, her head on his shoulder, the gallery's familiar brick wall in the background. Another, her hand in his, a coffee shop table cluttered with cups. Each image was a wound, raw and bleeding. I turned away, my chest tight, the sea's rhythm mocking my unraveling world. Get out of here, I said, my voice low, dangerous. Ethan didn't argue. He dropped the cigarette, crushed it under his heel, and walked away, his silhouette swallowed by the dark. I drove home, the road blurring through tears I refused to acknowledge. The house was dark when I pulled in, Clara's car gone. Inside, her note waited on the counter, at the gallery late. Don't wait up. My hands shook as I crumpled it, rage and heartbreak warring inside me. But then I saw it, a flash of red on the coffee table. Her scarf, the one she wore every day, lay tangled with a man's watch. Not mine. My breath hitched as I picked it up, the metal cold against my skin. The inscription on the back read, "To E, forever yours." The room spun. I sank onto the couch, the watch heavy in my hand. Clara hadn't just betrayed me with Ethan, she'd left pieces of him here, in our home, like a taunt. But Ethan's words echoed, she's done with me, too. If not him, then who? Another lover. A new life entirely. I sat there, the silence deafening, until the front door clicked open. Clara stepped in, her face pale, eyes wide when she saw me. Mark. I thought you were. Who is he? I cut her off, holding up the watch. My voice was steady, but inside, I was breaking. Her gaze flicked to the watch, and for a moment, her mask slipped, fear, guilt, defiance flashing across her face. Then she straightened, her voice cold. You went through my things. Answer me, Clara. I stood, the watch clenched in my fist. Ethan. The peer. 6 months. Who else? Her lips parted, but no words came. The silence was her confession, louder than any scream. And then, the twist, her eyes hardened, and she stepped closer, her voice a whisper. You think you're innocent, Mark? Check your own phone. That text you got? I sent it. I wanted you to know. The world stopped. My phone burned in my pocket, the anonymous text suddenly a trap. She'd known. She'd orchestrated it all, not to confess, but to destroy me first. The betrayal wasn't just hers, it was mine, too, in the doubts I'd buried, the love I'd clung to, the truth I'd refused to see.